My name is Brice and I'm a pole vaulter / sprinter. From kind of the early years, my godfather Joe Brice was a discus thrower for Ireland and he went to the States on a scholarship, so it's always been in the family. So my dad one day was like to us, would you like to start athletics? And we were like, definitely, yeah. So I'd say that was 13 years ago now, so it's been a while. I suppose, but for me, pole vault I didn't take up until probably 4 years ago. When a coach turned to me and said, would you like to try pole vault? And at first I was like, no, definitely not going to happen. But, went home, said to my mom, typical Irish mom, was like, no, you're going to try it, you're going to go to the first session. And then I went, and I suppose I've never looked back since. Athletics has been the best part of my life. I've made so many friends and I wouldn't change it for the world. I suppose last week I became the national senior champion, and that's been a really big goal of mine for the last few years because I've had 3 silver medals. I've been really close each time, but never got there. And then last year I went to Franklinville with the Irish under-18 European team, and I was ranked last going into that competition, but then came out second, so that was a pretty big achievement, and I happened to jump a national under-18 record there as well. And then I went to another competition in the Netherlands and I jumped the indoor national under-18 record, so they're 2 of my really big achievements. To be the national record holder is something that not many people get to say, so for me, and that's just amazing for me. I suppose sprinting, it complements pole vault obviously, because your run up you have to be strong and powerful, so then if you're in a 200-metre race you've got the endurance there for the long competitions that could be on your own in pole vault, or like spend hours out there doing jump after jump, trying to beat them first and like trying to win. So they complement each other in the fact that you need speed and you need endurance for both of them. So I suppose going into the event, you have to be really mentally strong. Like, it's a mental event as much as a physical event, because you're standing at the back of a run up looking at this really high bar, and you just have to kind of go, okay, I'm going to run and I'm going to see if I can get over this bar. I suppose in terms of big names in Ireland, Ellie McCartney would be a very big name. That she's going to the Commonwealth Games this year and she's got a massive PB of 4:20, so she'd be the one that I'm going to try and beat and everything. But there's other really big names that like you see on the TV, like Holly Bradshaw. I've been lucky enough to train with her and see how her coach runs things over the years, and it's really it's a big event that you have to kind of know the people in the event too. You kind of have to make your connections around the place. And I suppose after the competition, the bar will always win. That's the reality in pole vault. The bar will always win unless you walk away standing and leave the bar standing there. The bar will always win at the end of the day. So it's kind of accept the fact that, yeah, okay, I'm coming out to try and jump a certain height, but sometimes that doesn't go as planned, or sometimes the weather can be bad, and especially if it's windy. It was a bit scary, but that's when your mental attitude comes into it. Like, how strong can you actually be in the thing? And like, it's whoever's the strongest and willing to go the furthest on the day will win, essentially. When we were born, we had twin-to-twin transfusion syndrome, which is very rare but only happens in identical twins. So the placenta goes wrong and one twin will get all the nutrients and everything, and then the other twin will get virtually nothing. And unfortunately I was the twin that got virtually nothing. I immediately received blood transfusions after I was born to try and save my life, which thankfully they did. And so I suppose for our whole lives it's been a big thing, blood transfusions and how important they are. And then a few years ago, when I got selected for my first Irish team, there was a tweet that went out, thanking the blood donors, and I suppose we'll forever be grateful to them. So for us, it's a big thing that we encourage the next generation, because it's our generation that'll be the next generation that are going to donate. Like there's all the other people, but if our generation don't keep doing it, then it will run out, and it's the only, I suppose, gift of life that another human can give to another human, and we've always been really grateful for that. And like, I'll never be able to repay my thanks to them because they saved my life. And I suppose for me, I wouldn't be an international athlete if it wasn't for them. So it's just kind of saying thank you to them all the time. And Eva's birthday present to me when we turned 18 was she was going to donate blood, and that's always been the thing. So it was lovely for it to come into play and kind of see that happening. It's very emotional, but when it happened, it was lovely. I don't have to ever get another blood transfusion. I'm perfectly healthy now, but I just can't donate blood. Anyone who's received blood transfusions in their life, they're not allowed, and I'm not really sure why, but we're just not allowed. I think at first it's almost like, oh my, like what's happening? Like, I'm suddenly like, my feet are not on the ground anymore and I'm in the air, like. But it almost, I suppose, it's the closest you're ever going to get to flying, really. So you have to enjoy the feeling. So you have to get comfortable with the uncomfortable, I suppose. Like if you're always going to be out of your comfort zone, so being comfortable out of your comfort zone is very important. But it literally does feel like you're flying. That is literally the only way to describe it. It's the closest you're going to get to flying.